Well, as our viewers know, we've been telling you all morning long now how difficult the roads can be in this particular kind of storm.
Yeah, and if you don't have to go out, you should probably stay home. We will show you, though, now. WFMZ's Bo Koltnow is in the 69 News Snow Patrol, and he's been traveling around the region with a first-hand view of the road conditions. Good morning, Bo.
Good morning, Jaciel. Good morning, Eve. You guys can see my first-hand, my point of view. We are on 248. We just entered Nazareth in Northampton County, and as you guys can see, the road, at least on this stretch, is pretty good. We've been driving around for about the past several hours, and I have to say that throughout the mornings, it seems like the roads have gotten better. Now, the only little bit of trouble that we've had on 248, and we have been driving this route for about 20 minutes, are some buildups of water on the side of the road, which can then splash onto the windshield. Nothing too bad, though. Maybe we can get an example over the next 30 seconds as I'm driving. But as for ice, have not hit any ice. Parts of 248 have. All right, here we come. This is what we've been experiencing a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. It covers about half of the windshield. Nothing major. It says speed limit's 45 miles an hour. We're going, we've been driving 70, 80 miles an hour all morning. Just kidding. We're actually been going 25 to 30 and even less than that, and we've been fine. So again, that's what it looks like here on 248 heading east right in Nazareth in Northampton County. So you're out this morning. Be careful and keep it slow. Back to you guys.
All right, good advice. Thank you so much, Bo. And as Rick just mentioned, many drivers are finding the roads to be quite a challenge this morning.
Yeah, WFMZ's Joscelyn Moes is live at the Circle on Northampton Street in Easton with more. Joscelyn, hopefully your photographer Spin has given you a little break from all the work he was making you do.
Yeah, I told him I was done.
Yeah.
That was pretty much how that worked.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But no more ice skating here in Center Square. The workers with the city of Easton have really been doing a fantastic job this morning, clearing these sidewalks, chipping away at this ice, making it easier for pedestrians to walk on these sidewalks. You can see some of the remnants left behind. This is some of the ice that they got up with their shovels. Not me. I was done pretty quickly this morning. But here the rain is still coming down here in Easton, and you can see this is some of the conditions that drivers are having to deal with. You can see a little bit of ponding, a little bit of flooding on the roadways. Hi there. How you doing, sir? A little bit of ponding on the roads this morning. But other than that, really the roads are slushy and wet. No major problems. We really haven't seen people sliding around. So not too bad here in Easton. But that is one thing with this rain still coming down and all the precipitation that we've got over the past 24 hours that you do want to watch out for, just this sort of flooding, this sort of ponding on area roadways. But that is the situation here in Easton. Let's send it back to you guys in the studio. I think actually I'm going to give Spin the shovel and put him to work now.
Yeah, it's his turn.
Idea.
It's his turn.
Absolutely.
He sent me an instant.
Hey now.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. See that?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like an ice chug. That's
exactly.
dangerous.
Yeah, that is
that's
dangerous.
See what I deal with?
That's work hazard. That's not good.
Yeah, I think he needs to take you to a diner. That was uncalled for. All right,
Absolutely.
Joscelyn. Thanks so much.
With icy conditions, you want to be careful when you're out on the roads today.
Yeah, Jim Hine with the Bethlehem Streets Department is on the phone with us right now to tell us what crews are doing out there to make sure you are.
Has given the region another round of nasty weather.
Our team coverage continues now with WFMZ's Pam Cunningham, who is live in Reading, I believe, this morning. Pam, good morning.
Good morning, Eve. Good morning, Jaciel. I'm out here in Reading, out on Court Street, and just want to take a look at the street itself. If you notice, because the temperatures are warming up, the ice is sort of breaking up pretty easily. This is sort of slushy now, and there is some puddling or ponding, whatever you want to call it, but there is lots of melting that is going on. It is drizzling right now, but it's a lot lighter than it was earlier this morning. This morning it was sleet, and then it was a heavy rain, and now it's almost dying off, but there is some stuff coming down. What we're finding is that the roads are pretty good, manageable, passable. The crews are out there doing a good job, so we did not have any problems driving from Wyomissing to Reading, and some people are starting to come into work and are telling us the same thing. What people are noticing is that their cars look like this. We have one of the station vehicles out here, and it's just completely an ice ice covered. And what we did and what we figured out this morning, which helps, is obviously warm up your car first, and then hopefully that'll make the windshield a little bit easier to brake. Now, this car's only been on for about a minute, so if you take a look, you can brake the ice to sort of chip away at it. But there's no way I'm going to be able to do this right now for all of you. But we'll clean off the car and show you that it is possible, and it is possible to go out there. What we are hearing from people, though, the biggest issue are trees, down power lines, even power poles. We talked to Med-Ed. There's 5,700 people now in Berks County without power. That's concentrated around Cumru Township and Moton, and even parts of West Reading. And even a viewer called in and said in Lower Alsace Township they're noticing power outages as well. So the ice storm, it's no longer raining ice, but the ice is hanging out and definitely causing some issues as far as slippery sidewalks and some streets, and then obviously the biggest concern is power outages, but the crews are out and they're working on restoring power. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham, 69 News.
Thanks, Pam. Time now to take a look at how things are moving in the rest of the region.
And for that, we had ice sure is going to be an enemy for many people who have to venture out there this morning.
Our team coverage of the winter weather continues now with WFMZ's Mark Shanaberger, who's live at the Perkins on MacArthur Road in Whitehall with his Punxsutawney Phil hat. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, everyone. As far as what we're seeing out here in Whitehall, and it's pretty much been the same situation all morning long. Initially, we were seeing a little bit of freezing, but since about, I would say, 6:30, the rain that's been coming down has been coming down either heavy, moderate, and now it's coming down a little bit lighter, but it has not been freezing on contact anymore. All the surfaces that have been cleaned off are clear right now, and that rain that's falling is just washing right off. As you can see behind me, we take a look at Best Buy. In between the Perkins and Best Buy, you can see some of the power lines, some of the trees, and they are iced over. So a lot of the concerns with the power lines are still a concern at this hour, even though, like I said, it's not freezing on surfaces that have been cleared off. Those surfaces that still have ice on them, a little bit colder, so it will freeze on those surfaces once it makes contact. So that's something that may continue to be a problem as we move through the morning hours here. Even though the temperatures are actually rising above 32 degrees. We're getting very close to that 32-degree mark. So something to keep an eye on. The other thing to keep an eye on is, you see the PennDOT truck coming through behind me. You can see some of the ponding that we're seeing on some of the roadways in the area, and that's because the slush is accumulating on the sides of the roads. Those storm drains are all clogged up, so the water has nowhere to go, and it's leaving a lot of water on the roadway. So even though you may not be dealing with the ice in your neck of the woods, you may still run into some ponding, or as Pam called it, and I think it's a much better term, puddling, because it's not really a pond, but a puddle on the sides of the roadway. So you want to keep an eye out for that. And there you go. We get a little bit of that slush coming up here on the side, and he cleared it out really, really nicely here. So that's what we have here in Whitehall. The rain continues to fall. It's falling a little bit lighter now, but it's not any longer accumulating on the surfaces with ice. So that's some good news here in Whitehall. Live from the Perkins, I'm WFMZ meteorologist Mark Shanaberger, back inside to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mark. It is turning into a weekly routine.
All right, Rick, thanks. And let's continue our look at the roads now from our 69 News Snow Patrol that's been very busy this morning.
Bo Koltnow, WFMZ's Bo Koltnow, is manning the vehicle. He is joining us now. Where are you now, Bo?
Well, Jaciel, throughout the morning, we've been all over the place, from Allentown to northern Lehigh County and to Northampton County. We've been on the main roads like 248 and 309 and 145, but we don't stop there. We want to go on the roads where people actually live, which is this one right here. This is Evergreen in Nazareth, Northampton County, and you can see, looks like it has been plowed, but guys, it is very, very icy. Half hour ago, we were on 248. Not too bad. This one, however, is drivable, but believe me, it could get very bumpy here, especially if we get up to the intersection before this piece is over. But for people who are parked along streets like this, whether it be here in Nazareth or whether it be in Allentown, Bethlehem, you're pretty much all going to be in the same spot. You're going to have cars like the van here, if you guys can see, that hasn't moved in probably a week. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with parallel parking, with digging your car out. There's a guy right there. He's waving to us. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, how's it going? Hey, we are live on camera. Come forward. Have you been driving yet today?
Not yet. Getting ready to go out, take my wife to work.
Is the storm worse than you thought? Not as bad? How do you think it's going?
Actually, it's less than I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get a lot more ice, but it seems now it's warmed up a little bit.
Okay.
Ice is coming right off the window. It's nice and easy. And,
hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Hey, good luck to you.
Yeah, I watch you guys come down 248 there.
Awesome. Well, very good. Hey, guys, there's a dedicated viewer. He says so far it hasn't been too bad, but he hasn't been on the road yet. So, guys, I can throw it back to you in the studio, or you can stick with me. I'm going to turn on to 191 here. It's going to get a little bumpy, and then we're going to go down a side street. So it's up to you guys. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Bo, I just have to say it's impressive that you can man the snow patrol vehicle, show us these awesome pictures, and do an interview. I mean, that is talent.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eve, I've had my fair share of coffee this morning, and Ethan, our photographer, he's gifted at what he does, and he keeps me up and laughing. So it's been a fine morning, but now we are headed down, a little bit different story. It's going to be a little trickier.
Bo, I know
we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
I know you're there in Northampton County. Got a Facebook comment from Jen Diaz in Windgap, and she says that the trees look like ice monsters. I can't open my front door. So.
Well, then she should stay inside, Jaciel, and she should tell her employer that she can't make it to work today.
Sounds like good advice, Bo. Thanks so much.
Bo, thank you. Stay safe out there.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, we'll see you.
Bo's going to get a call from that employer if she stays indoors.
Well, the conditions are pretty treacherous in Berks County this morning as well.
Let's get a check on conditions there from WFMZ's Pam Cunningham. She is joining us live from our Berks studios in Reading with a look at things there. Pam, good morning. Any improvement out in Reading?
Oh, absolutely. It's much warmer than it was earlier this morning, and that makes a huge difference when you're walking around and even trying to clean off your car. Earlier, I was showing you that we had to break the ice to clean off the windshield. It only took a couple minutes to actually get that done, and then you're going to have to start hitting the sides and making sure. So you have to give yourself some time to clean off your car this morning, but it's not raining anymore, which is really nice. So as far as the ice and it was on the streets, if you take a look at what's behind me right here on the ground, it's mostly slush now. It's amazing what the difference of a few degrees can make. And if you take a look, though, this is what's really the issue, is the trees. It's not windy anymore, but earlier this morning it was, and so branches and trees and wires were coming down. So power is out right now for 5,700 people in Berks County, and we're hearing that that's concentrated around Coomer Township, Moton, and even parts of West Reading. So it looks like roads are pretty passable. As it starts to melt and turn into slush, it's not going to be too difficult to get around driving. Obviously, you need to be careful. You also need to be careful when you're walking, because slush or ice, you still can slip and fall on that. But what's going to be an issue for people this morning is waiting for the power crews to get to them, because there are down power poles, wires, trees, lots of cleaning up to be done, and people are just sort of waiting now to get their power back on. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham, 69 News.
All right, Pam, thank you so much. Well, crews from PennDOT have been putting in a lot of overtime this. Good morning. I'm Jaciel Cordoba along with Eve Tannery. It is now 9:04, and we're staying on the air longer this morning to bring you the very latest on the winter storm that's moving through the area.
Yeah, we'll get an update on the forecast in a minute, but first let's check in on the roads. For that, we head up to Rick Edwards in the 69 News Traffic Center. Good morning, Rick.
Well, guess we'll check in with Rick a little later. We'll go to Matt Broderick instead. Matt, good morning.
All right, guys, good morning. Thanks very much. Well, the good news is, as far as this storm system is concerned, is that it continues to wind down across the region. It's been raining pretty good here from the overnight period up until about a half an hour ago or so in Reading. We'll show you that radar here in a second. Temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. But again, as we've been talking about, as always what we talk about in ice storms, it's much better to have temperatures in the 30s than the 20s. Which is what we were dealing with through the overnight. Once that temperature starts to get to around 32, and with crews treating everything, things improve pretty dramatically. Now, are in and around your house, the back roads, some of those places, as we've been saying, anything untreated is pretty treacherous for sure. Ice storm warning until 1 o'clock this afternoon from the National Weather Service. Good look at the radar here. Look at how things have quieted down. The 9 o'clock observation at the Reading Airport, just cloudy, so the precipitation has come to an end. You can see here in the lead Lehigh Valley, eastern sections, southeastern parts of the area, we continue to see some of this freezing rain, which has been the main type of precipitation, rain or freezing rain. There is one last line in western and central PA, which may try to come through later this morning. So again, we've been allowing for stuff until about lunchtime or so, and I think that's good, but already trying to come to an end here in some spots. So precipitation ending over the next few hours, slippery, anything untreated, high temperature, and that's good news, reaching the middle 30s. Full forecast includes another storm system. We'll talk about it in just a few more minutes. Now we go to Eve and Jaciel. Back over to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Matt, thank you. And we're going to now head up to traffic with Rick and take a look at the roads around the region. Rick, good morning.
All right, thanks a lot. Good morning. 22 and 78 are in really good shape. Now, we're just flipping through the PennDOT cameras. We have no reported problems on the major highways. We do have some ponding and some minor flooding they may run into, but most of that has been clear. 22, we had problems along the eastbound side there in Hanover Township. We still have that tractor trailer blocking traffic at Hamilton Boulevard and Farmington Road in Upper Macungie Township. Wires down in several places around Whitehall and South Whitehall Township. Maple Street, Levans Road, one example. In Bethlehem City, Eaton Avenue, there's a wire across the entire road there. Eaton Avenue near Highland Avenue. That's by the 378 overpass over on the west side. 21st Street getting into Northampton. Still a little hiccup there with the railroad crossing with the malfunctioning lights there. I think traffic control still on the scene there. Into Berks County, Exeter Township, 562 and Chauffeurs Road, an accident. And traffic lights still out at 222 and Long Lane north of Kutztown and Maxitawny. Wires down and trees down. They're just coming in at a fast pace, and tough to get all the information from dispatchers because they're very busy as well. But 345 is still closed south of Birdsboro, right around Geigertown Road because of wires down. And same for New Holland Road. That is 625 through Cumru Township along the Nolde Forest Park between Freemansville Road and Church Road this morning. That's your traffic report. Buckle up, drive safely if you really must get out there. Let's get back downstairs to Eve and Jaciel.
All right, Rick, thanks so much. Well, we sure have seen all kinds of wintry precipitation in the past 24 hours, and that is creating a dangerous combination on the roads out there this morning.
And now there are even concerns about flooding. We continue our team coverage now by checking in with WFMZ's Bo Koltnow and the 69 News Snow Patrol. Bo, good morning.
Good morning, Jaciel. Good morning, Eve. Throughout the morning, Pam, Mark, and Rick have been talking about this ponding, about the water that just kind of pools on the side of the road. Now, we're here along 248 heading east, and in about 15 seconds, I believe you guys are going to see what can happen if you're driving and you're not expecting some of this major ponding. Now, we went through this about 20 minutes ago, and I kind of want to give you guys an example of exactly what it can look like. Now, we are going the speed limit, but this is what can happen if you're not prepared. That is why when you're driving along any major road like we are, have your windshield wipers ready. Believe me, I didn't have them on there because I wanted you guys to see exactly what can happen. So right now, you guys can see there's not a whole lot going on, but big puddles like that, they can literally come out of nowhere. And if you're driving one way and a car is coming the other way, and you're not prepared for that, if you don't have your windshield wipers going, well, that can create a very, very dangerous situation. So all this talk of pooling, of ponding, it's not just hyperbole on reporter and meteorologist talk. It actually happens. There's some more. Perfect example, the windshield wipers are going. So throughout the morning, guys, this ice is starting to melt, at least on the roads that we've been on, and it's creating some of those very, very dangerous situations. So just a little example of what you guys can expect, what people can encounter when they're on the roads throughout the day. Hey, guys, back to you in the studio.
All right, good examples.
Yeah,
thanks,
awesome
Bo.
examples. Scary stuff.
I think he enjoyed making those puddles. I don't know about you. I think he did.
You know, he is extreme with his extreme sports and everything.
Let's head to Whitehall Township in Lehigh County.
There we find meteorologist Mark Shanaberger, who is standing by live from the Perkins on MacArthur Road with a look at conditions there. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, Bo is a bit of a puddle thumper. That's an extreme adventure.
It sure is.
Now, he did a great job illustrating exactly what we saw earlier here. Now, it has been cleared off over the past couple of hours. Some PennDOT trucks came through here and got some of the slush and the water off of 145. But that's what we were experiencing earlier. And I think I was kind of ahead of what Pam and Joscelyn and even Bo were seeing earlier, because we were just seeing plain rain for a good portion of the sunrise edition, a good portion of this storm coverage. We've just been seeing plain rain. It hasn't been freezing on contact. Of course, there has been some ice accumulating on some of the sidewalks, the power lines, the trees. But as far as the roadways go, we have not seen that here in Whitehall at this particular location. I'm sure on some of the side roads, they have seen that. So you want to drive with caution. But we saw that ponding, and a lot of that water was coming up on top of us. We're also seeing a lot of cars that are not clearing off the roof. Folks, in this kind of situation where you have that snow accumulating first and then the ice on top of it, it creates for a very dangerous situation, especially for the driver behind you. And at the very least, you'll just be a nuisance to them, but you could cause some bodily damage and some harm to them. So you certainly want to clear off your roof and think about the drivers around you before you head out this morning. Spend a little extra time, because once you start warming up your car and that layer of water develops, it's going to slide right off the back and right into the car behind you. So it's just a good idea to clear off your car this morning. It's a safety concern. It's also a state law, so keep that in mind as well, because you could be ticketed for something like that. Live from the Perkins in Whitehall, I'm WFMZ meteorologist Mark Shanaberger. Back inside to you guys.
Hey, Mark, how is business out there at Perkins this morning? Are people starting to brave the elements and come out for a good breakfast?
We're trying to get DR in there for a little bit of breakfast. He made his order, and then we had 2 live hits. So we're hoping that after this one, that DR can finally sit down and get something in his belly. It's been a long morning for DR. Hopefully that can happen. The crowd has picked up here, though, over the past hour or so, and I expect that trend to continue for Perkins as we move through the rest of the morning. One thing, these snowfall totals continue to grow, and so does my waistline. So hopefully the snow could stop, because we keep on getting sucked at these restaurants, and I keep on going inside for breakfast.
I was going to say, why are you putting it all on DR? You know you're going to eat too.
I already had it. It was fantastic.
Oh, good. Good. All right.
Already eating.
Very good.
Wow.